and it was quickly becoming clear to me that I was going to have my hands full. Every time I stepped into the waiting room, there were new patients arriving, and each one seemed to present a different challenge. It was another hectic morning at the practice when Piggly, the micro-pig, arrived. The dogs, cats and rabbits, felt quite at ease as they waited their turn to be seen, but Piggly's arrival caused some alarm, because most of them had never seen a pig before. They viewed him with fascination and some suspicion. Piggly quickly made himself at home in the packed waiting room, investigating and snuffling around, sniffing dogs and making small, contented grunting noises to himself. A cat in a basket hissed when he oinked at it, causing him to make a high-pitched squeal. I chuckled. "Looks like another normal day at the practice," I said to Emmy, my loyal Jack Russell Terrier, who had resumed her new favourite spot in her cosy basket under the reception desk. At one point, a pug approached Piggly, sniffed him, and started barking frantically, his eyes bulging even more than usual. The pug was called Fionn. He was recovering from a broken leg, which I'd repaired with a plate and some screws during my first week at the practice. The round little dog still had a cumbersome blue bandage on his leg, which we were planning to remove during his appointment, my final job before I turned my attention to Piggly. Usually, farm animals are treated on the farm. It's impossible to bring a cow to the vets, and difficult to fetch a horse, although occasionally people ride their horse to the surgery and wait in the car park to be seen. But small farm animals, such as baby micro-pigs, lambs or pygmy goats, are portable enough to bring along, just like a dog. Once I treated a miniature Mediterranean donkey at the practice. It arrived on the back seat of a car. I headed back into my consulting room, watching Piggly and Fionn through the long, thin window in the door. After a hesitant start, the two sausage-shaped creatures seemed to have struck up an unlikely friendship. Fionn wiggled vigorously from side to side as he tried to wag his tail, but since it was curled in a tight corkscrew, it didn't really wag like a normal dog's tail. Instead, his whole body wagged. When he ventured close to Piggly, he barked and then jumped back, curious but cautious. He repeated the process over and over again, desperate to become friends, but unsure what Piggly was and whether he might attack. "What is this curious creature?" he must have been thinking. Piggly sniffed at the big blue bandage on Fionn's leg. This was the first pug the pig had ever seen, and he was fascinated by its blue leg. Every time Fionn barked, Piggly grunted, almost causing the astonished pug's eyes to pop out of his head with surprise. Pigs spend most of their time grunting, as they are interested in what's going on around them. They are silent only when they are asleep. I called Fionn into my room and hoisted him onto the table. Despite everything he had been through at the surgery in recent weeks, he was always pleased to see me. I leant in to stroke his cheery face, and he immediately stood on his hind legs, licking my face and ears, as if telling me all about the strange animal he had just encountered in the waiting room. I gently unravelled the bandage. Underneath, the leg looked excellent. The wound was clean and healed, the broken bone now firm and already strong. I smiled to myself. Not bad for a new vet, I thought. "Good news, Fionn," I said, as I popped him back on the floor. "I'll be able to leave this leg without a bandage on. It's healing very nicely." His owners looked delighted. "You should come back for a checkup in 2 weeks," I continued. "Take it easy and don't jump off the sofa again. Remember, pugs can't fly." Piggly looked as surprised as a pig could be when his new friend emerged from the consulting room with a different coloured leg. The new one was thinner and no longer blue. Maybe that was why Piggly was anxious when I called for him and his owner, Joyce, to come in. But it wasn't his leg I'd be looking at. Piggly had a